Hi, my name's Emily. I've teamed up with Casey, Abby, and Caitlin to create this presentation about immigration and crime.
Immigrants have been torn apart from their families, culture, and dignity for thousands of years. Lee and Martinez stated in 2000 that immigration destroys the inherent racial and family stock qualities, physical, mental, and spiritual, of the people of the immigrant receiving country. Although the United States presents itself as a country that gives off new life and opportunities, those who are known to settle in urban cities with subsidized homes, low-income schools, and higher crime rates are later becoming a product of their environment. Although the United States is known for immigration starting way back in the 1600s, the very first Immigration Act did not go in fully effect until August 3, 1882. The topic of immigration and crime has been a huge topic for over thousands of years. Many immigrants leave their countries to come to America to live the American dream, only to later find out that the American dream is not what they expected. The American dream vision has changed over many of years, although the overall picture is money, family, and a white picket fence. Morton suggests that those who lack opportunity in social status and wealth are more likely to turn to crime. Historically, public opinion about immigration and the immigrant crime link, especially, has been formed by stereotypes more often than tan reliable and practical data. In 1938, Morton discovered that disadvantaged groups, including immigrants, are being denied legitimate means to obtain their cultural goals of the American dream. From 1820 to 1920, over 30 million immigrants came to America voluntarily, seeking freedom, opportunity, and jobs. In 1924, the National Organs Act restricted immigrants from being a part of the American culture. Restricted immigration by discriminating against immigrants from Southern and Eastern Europe, purposely excluding Asians as well. On October 3, 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed into the Law Immigration Act of 1965, which led us into our current immigration laws.
Although some Americans fear immigrants due to the effect that they may have on our crime rates, they can also be beneficial when it comes to helping the economy. With high levels of immigration comes more consumers, which is an advantage to businesses everywhere. More immigrants also means more workers for jobs, which is another advantage to the business industry. A third perspective is the economy expanding due to all of these newcomers, which include immigrants. Even though immigrants help contribute to businesses and our economy, some organizations or businesses prefer to have or hire immigrants from a certain country or place. Even though crime is a concern when it comes to immigrants coming to the United States, there are some benefits that they bring to keep in mind.
To understand current issues and events that go along with immigrants and crime, it's important to study what globalization is. According to page 24 of our textbook, globalization refers to the growing interdependency among events, people, and governments around the world that are increasingly connected through trade, expanding communications, transportation, and computer networks. With a globalizing political economy, goods, labor, and money move more freely around the world, a situation that leads to some benefits, but also leads to intensified inequality of wealth and income. So, in other words, this basically means people and countries can exchange information and goods faster than ever. In 2019, there have been a series of different issues, conversations, and debates arise about immigration. Some of the most popular topics I could talk about are the border wall, immigration bans, deporting illegal immigrants, immigration health care, in-state tuition issues, citizenship tests, skilled immigrants, and dual citizenship. I have decided to talk about citizenship tests. Let me ask you something. Do you know how many stripes are in the American flag? Or what the three branches of government are and exactly what they do? Or who America battled in World War II? These are some of the questions that are asked on the American Civics Test for all immigrants to take to gain citizenship to the United States. The test also asks 10 randomly selected questions about U.S. history, the Constitution, and government. And according to the I Side With website, in 2015, Arizona became the first state to require high school students to pass the test before they graduate. So the question arises, If our high school students in the United States aren't even meeting these qualifications, why should immigrants? According to Alison Escobar's article, Most of Us Would Fail, the U.S. Citizenship Test discusses a study that estimates only about 1/3 of Americans could pass this test, talks about some of the statistics in the United States and about how the average American can't pass this test. This debate has been happening for a long time, whether it's fair or not, but the immigrants that are coming to America have to do more than just the citizenship test, too. They have to pass the naturalization test, which includes 100 questions, and a required interview with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services officer. And 6 of the 10 questions asked during the interview must be answered correctly and in English in order to pass. So it's more than just a test.
Impact on society. On page 25 of our textbook, it states in 2009, Obama had made new guidelines for immigration and customs enforcement. These guidelines emphasized on prosecuting employers who were knowingly hiring illegal immigrants to work. But this change in policy did not have a positive outcome for illegal immigrants. In 2012, around 410,000 undocumented immigrants were deported, and in 2013, around 360,000 were deported. A lot of people believe that having illegal immigrants working in the U.S. have a negative outcome on the employment, but it doesn't. There are temporary foreign workers who are constantly coming over. They are both skilled and unskilled, and they boost the employment for the U.S. Impact on criminal justice system. Research has documented a growing punishment divide along citizens and non-citizenship lines, with non-citizens receiving worse treatment for crimes than citizens. Sociologist Michael Light revealed that non-citizens receive longer criminal sentences on average than the citizens do in federal court. On January 1st, 2006, the California adopted a fair punishment law approach for immigrants under law that prosecutors are required to have more engagement in their trials, to not just have a just outcome, to put some effort into the trial. The Department of Justice discovered that officers that cooperate with federal immigration enforcement, like in North Carolina, are 4 to 10 more times likely to stop Latino drivers than non-Latino drivers. So the Department of Justice really wants police officers to stay away from the immigration enforcement. They do not want them to interact with one another because it violates equality and shows unjust and unfair treatment.
Numerous studies have confirmed 2 facts about the relationship between immigration and crime. The first fact explains that immigrants are less likely to commit serious crimes than native-born Americans. Another confirmed fact is high rates of immigration in certain areas result in lower rates of property and violent crimes. Harsh immigration policies don't usually exist because of the low risk that immigrants cause. However, the policies that there are for immigrants and crimes are more shaped by stereotyping them, which lawmakers should work on to improve not having all of these stereotypes about them. Another big factor for improving immigrants and crime, or even just stereotyping them, is reporting more crimes. If more crimes are reported, then that might take the target off immigrants since we're so focused on their wrongdoings already. Less bias-sided trials in court could also relieve stereotypes made about immigrants being criminals. This may even lower the crime rates, which are already at a low risk than the native-born Americans.
In conclusion, immigrants have to face a lot of barriers that often citizens don't even have to blink an eye about. Casey talked about how many people associate immigrants and crime together because of the stereotypes that exist, but that these stereotypes don't often match data exactly. Caitlin talked about how immigrants make a difference in the economy, and I added more talking about globalization and how that impacts the economy, while Abby talked about the overall impact of immigrants. And thank you for watching.